Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News this morning.
Right now at 6 o'clock on this Fat Tuesday, all of us across the state of Louisiana waking up with all the feels this morning. On one side, you've got a live look at Bourbon. The other side, you got to look at what Bourbon normally looks like. But for the first time in decades, no parades, no balls, no throws. And if that wasn't enough, you've got this to deal with. The Deep South hit with frigid temperatures, snow and ice across parts of our state. Yikes. Happy Mardi Gras to you. Good morning. I'm Christina Watkins.
I'm Randy Russo. At least those temperatures are wearing their Mardi Gras colors, right? We are right now under a hard freeze warning across southeast Louisiana as we are anticipating the coldest temperatures on record for a February 16th Fat Tuesday. But as you take a live look outside, it is more than just cold. It's actually dangerous, especially as many are still dealing with no power in some areas. Temperatures in some places in the teens, and the wind chill, well, that makes it feel even colder. So this morning we have team coverage for you parish by parish with meteorologist Damon Singleton and Heath Allen for us on the North Shore.
But first, here's meteorologist Quaylen Murphy with when we're going to be able to thaw out, Quaylen. That's a question people are looking for answers to.
Several more hours, Randy and Christina. We have at least 6 more hours until temperatures will climb above the freezing mark. Here are the current temps. We're in the 20s all across the area. 21 in Hammond, 23 in Slidell, 26 in Belle Chase, Galliano right now, and 24. You factor in the wind, which is coming in from the north and west, 5 to 10 miles per hour. You have wind chill values down into the teens. This is how it feels outside this morning area-wide, and this is concerning for us because certainly it's just very dangerous cold out there. The freeze warning is in place for those temperatures at 32 degrees and below until noon today. We expect temperatures to be in that range until this time, and then afternoon we'll start to see temperatures slowly pulling above the freezing mark. So for planning purposes, here's your 12-hour forecast, and hopefully you're planning to spend much of your morning at home. Hopefully you can afford to do that. If you're an essential worker, of course, you may be heading out a little bit sooner. 28 degrees at 9 o'clock, 32 degrees at 11, wind chill values 25 degrees. By this afternoon, we'll be looking at 35 degrees at 1, and then 39 degrees by 3 o'clock. We'll sort of let go of the wind chill later on this afternoon, and then we're going to see more clearing into early evening. We have high pressure out to the west of us. It's going to help to lead to some sunshine today, but our focus is already on to the next system. That's this cold front that's right now over the Rocky Mountain states, and this one's going to pull in to the area Wednesday night. It will present us with a threat for severe storms. So we'll go from very cold winter conditions and temperatures to a setup of spring-like conditions and also chance for some isolated tornadoes. More details on that when I come back. Randy and Christina, back to you.
And Quaylen, we know right now many of you are dealing with this. Power outages, they continue to be a problem. Thousands of Entergy customers are in the dark as we speak.
Yeah, check out the latest numbers for you right here. 17,000 outages right now. That is on the rise. We had just seen about 9,000 about an hour ago. So as of right now, nearly 9,000 Entergy customers are in the dark in East Baton Rouge Parish, more than 1,000 in Tangipahoa Parish, and several hundred in the New Orleans metro area. Right now, crews are working to restore that power as soon as possible. But until then, they are asking that you reduce your electricity usage. Also right now, we are following our coverage on the North Shore where neighbors are seeing some of the coldest temperatures from this weather event.
WDSU's Heath Allen is in Washington Parish this morning tracking conditions for us. Heath, what are you seeing right now at 6:03?
Well, at 6:03, if you were with us just a few minutes ago, you saw the scores of trucks, the Washington St. Tammany electric trucks, service trucks heading out, hitting the streets already. The parking lot is empty behind me now. They are already out and working on those customers with Washington St. Tammany who are without power. Washington St. Tammany, of course, has customers in Tangipahoa Parish, St. Tammany Parish, and in Washington Parish. I have the latest numbers as far as outages go right here. Here in Washington Parish, 1,129 customers without power. In Tangipahoa Parish, 1,046, and in St. Tammany Parish, 17. And as I say, the trucks just pulled out of here. It was like an armada pulling out. You know, yesterday we saw all the sand trucks. It was just literally a Mardi Gras parade, since we don't have any, of trucks that were heading out yesterday to work with sand. Today it's the utility trucks going out to get people their power back on, especially in these Gosh, frigid temperatures. I can't imagine being without power right now, and these folks are already on the street to go ahead and get all of that. Thank you. Cue the truck. There you go. They're on the street right now going out to get the power turned back on to those folks without it. So that's the situation right now here. A couple thousand people here in Washington, St. Tammany still without power, but the trucks are on the street ready to restore it. Guys, back to you.
And of course, those crews asking you to just be patient while they work. Keith, thank you. Continuing on the North Shore this morning, story much of the same in St. Tammany Parish. Temperatures are very, very low, and we're not going to see them climb until maybe later on today.
Meteorologist Damon Singleton is joining us now live with the impacts that he is feeling there in St. Tammany. Damon.
Yeah, ladies, just some very cold air out here in St. Tammany Parish. My phone tells me it's about 22 degrees out here with a wind chill of about 16. I'm not feeling a lot of wind right now, and you can see that the power is not an issue out here at the Covington Trailhead. You can see some of the Mardi Gras lights that are over my shoulder. Happy Mardi Gras, by the way. We're still watching the what appears to be a sprinkler system pipe that burst off in the distance there. That water's still shooting up into the air, and it's been like that since we got out here an hour or so ago. And of course, that water, some of it is turning to ice on the ground. And there's other areas out here where there's a pretty good amount of ice on the sidewalks and parts of the road. Coming out here, the roads were generally pretty dry. Didn't have too many issues with black ice, but there is some out there. Those areas, those low-lying areas where the water pools, it froze yesterday, and it's still that way this morning. So please be very conscious of that as you head out the door this morning. And you definitely want to layer up like I did this morning as well. Got an interesting question a little while ago from someone who was making reference to something that Margaret tweeted out last night about the possibility of some lake effect snow as the very cold air moves over the warm lake water, and that possibility being in parts of the South Shore. I don't see that happening here on the North Shore. Maybe Quaylen can take a look at that. And the chances of that were pretty low, as Margaret was saying last night. But everything out here is very quiet. There's no one out here, and it's very cold as well. Back to you guys in studio.
Well, you hear the music, you know what time it is, or at least what time it was supposed to be. Today was supposed to be that day, the culmination of culture, so much family fun, lining the parade routes, ready to catch some throws. To the rest of the world, though, it's just a regular old Tuesday. But here, today is Mardi Gras.
Yes, and it is still Mardi Gras despite this site here, Bourbon Street, empty as you take a live look from the French Quarter. The parade routes are bare right now. No beads tangled up in those trees unless they were put there on purpose for the house floats. Also, no tourists to become your new best friend. The largest free party in the world is not happening this year because of the pandemic. But you know what? Nothing can diminish our carnival spirit here in Louisiana. And locals have certainly made some creative ways to keep the party going with scavenger hunts, house floats, and so much more just to keep those traditions of carnival alive.
And it's been incredible to watch. Later on this morning, we dig deeper into the incredible spirit of carnival and what it means to us here in Southeast Louisiana. We ask that you join us right here at 10 o'clock this morning on WDSU. It's going to be a good time, of course. You got to let them roll, right? And tomorrow marks another holiday, Ash Wednesday. While most groups are scaling back a little bit, there's one church expecting more people at their drive-through Ashes event. Last year, this church in Metairie, Munholland United Methodist Church, they had more than 1,500 cars at their event. And they expect even more this year because of the pandemic. So to prepare for that, they moved the entrance so more cars can fit. It's going to be on Brockenbrough Court. That's right off of Metairie Road.
Well, right now it is 6:09 and a hard freeze warning is in place for much of Southeast Louisiana. So we've got more on the conditions outside so you can stay inside. We're also going to hear from local leaders to explain what they are doing to keep you safe. That's coming up next.
And as we go to break, let's give you a live look outside. We also have meteorologist Quaylen Murphy tracking conditions for you and the latest on when we can thaw out.
And don't forget, you'll find our WDSU weather forecast every weekday morning on Nash 106.1, The Crew 106.7, Alt 92.3, and 102.9. Well, time now is 6:12. I want to give you a live look from Mississippi this morning, where that state also dealing with icy conditions because of this winter storm. This morning, we're joined by Trooper Calvin Robertson from the Mississippi Highway Patrol. Thank you so much for joining us. You were in the thick of things right now, patrolling the streets in your own unit. What are you all doing to try and keep drivers safe this morning?
Well, we have additional troopers out on the highway. We're in the Biloxi district, the southern 6 counties in our state. We cover the entire stretch of I-10. We just ask that drivers, when they're out, just to be careful, lower your speeds. You do not know, when you might hit a patch of ice or black ice, especially on bridge decks. They're the most dangerous in our area. So as you go farther north in the state, travel has become crippled, in Jackson and Vicksburg and even in Brookhaven district. So we just ask that if drivers are out, if they have to go to work, be sure you have your driver's license and your insurance readily available for us.
Let's specifically touch on Harrison County and Hancock County, Mississippi, folks that are in our viewing area. What streets, bridges, roadways are you most concerned about right now?
Well, in our southern 3 counties that cover Interstate 10, Hancock, Harrison, and Jackson, we do not have any current road hazard conditions due to weather. So, as you're traveling through the area, you'll see additional troopers out on the highway. We just ask that motorists, do your normal thing. Be sure you're buckled up. Be sure you're following the speed limit as well.
And you mentioned that you have extra troopers on patrol as well, but how have you all been working with your own Department of Transportation and ensuring that some of these roadways are being, I guess, safer in terms of maybe putting some sand or salt on those roads?
Right. I was in contact with MDOT official yesterday. The State Line Bridge on I-10 from Louisiana into Mississippi, they did go out and sand that bridge in the event that a small amount of ice may have accumulated. The sand will give drivers more traction on the bridge. But as of yet, we have had no issues at that bridge.
Any other final message that you have for drivers this morning there in Mississippi, Trooper Robertson?
Just be safe, be careful, and be courteous of others as you're out traveling.
Perfect. Trooper Robertson, thank you so much with Mississippi Highway Patrol. We appreciate you and your time. And again, many of those troopers out there right now just surveilling those streets, making sure that everything is safe for those drivers there in Mississippi. Of course, we are going to be following some more severe weather later on this week. Layla Murphy joining us now with the conditions now throughout the next couple days.
Yeah, Randy, let's talk about Mardi Gras Day. 22 degrees is the coldest Mardi Gras morning on record. That was set in 1899, a long time ago. We're not quite there, but we're close. 26 degrees right now at the airport. Temperatures low 20s north and mid 20s to low 20s on the South Shore. So this is the cold air that has really dug its heels in overnight and this morning, and for a long duration of time. We still have likely another 6 hours or so before temperatures start to climb above the freezing mark. On top of that, wind chill values down into the teens for most spots, and this is where we've been situated for a good part of the nighttime hours and morning. I haven't seen any single-digit wind chills, but very close. Gulfport now back down to 10 degrees on those feels-like temperatures, and this is what we've been urging you to stay indoors and just stay put. That's the safest way to deal with this cold air and these cold conditions. 26 at the airport, and so because we're below freezing, any water that has ponded close to those sidewalks, your steps, they may still present some patchy ice areas for you this morning. So those are the black ice patches you want to be mindful if you do have to head out today. Winds 12 miles per hour from the northwest. Freeze warning until noon, as I mentioned, because we have to wait until that time for most temperatures to climb above the freezing mark. So 10 o'clock, 30 degrees, wind chill still low 20s. By 1, we're at 35 degrees today, and this afternoon upper 30s for the high temperature. We'll see some sunshine through the afternoon, so that'll be nice to see. 7 o'clock, mid 30s. Right now we're looking at a lot of cloud cover. Her meteorologist Damon Singleton mentioned that possible potential for some flurries. We've seen some of those around Macomb, so north of the state line, but no reports of any flurries here on the South Shore, and I don't expect too much of that, especially no accumulation. Out to the west, our next storm system building closer to Texas, New Mexico. This is the next front that's going to be rolling through. This brings that severe weather threat, so we're on to the next thing that we're watching. It's going to stir the pot a bit Wednesday evening into Wednesday night. Right now, some timing discrepancies between the models. Some bring the line in as early as 7, 8 p.m. Others bring it in closer to 10, 11 o'clock, and then keep the line going through the overnight hours. So we'll have to fine-tune those details. But in the meantime, prepare for the threat. Here's a look at 11 o'clock. This is where Some spots will start to climb above freezing, so if that water is trickling for you, you can likely shut it off by 11 o'clock, but still below freezing for areas around the Metro and North Shore at that time. By lunchtime, we'll start to make the progression gradually to above freezing, and that will continue through the afternoon. Again, some clouds passing through tonight. We'll see temperatures by 10:30 around the 30s once again. Some spots north of the lake will drop into the upper 20s, so we could see a refreeze for some locations as well. Tomorrow morning at 10, we're seeing some spotty showers. We're starting off in the 30s and 40s. Temperatures in the afternoon will be in the low 50s, but temperatures will keep climbing into Wednesday night ahead of the front. This is 10-11 p.m. Notice we're in the 60s, so this is pretty backwards here. Then as the front is rolling through, temperatures will start dropping after midnight, and by Thursday, closer to sunrise, will be drying out, and then we'll see highs on Thursday afternoon, or the afternoon highs in the 50s on Thursday. We're looking at 1 to 2 inches of rainfall with this next front, so that will come quickly. May result in some quick localized flooding in spots. Winds will also start picking up ahead of the front, 30+ miles per hour. And of course, as the line's moving through, that could present us with some severe weather concerns. So again, Wednesday, a next focus day for that severe weather threat through evening, possibly overnight into early Thursday morning. Temperatures Thursday afternoon, low 50s. We're cold again Friday morning, back down to freezing and below both sides of the lake. Upper 40s for highs Friday, but back to some balanced, settled, quiet weather. Gradual warm up this weekend. Highs around 60 Saturday, 70 degrees on Sunday, and then a few showers in the forecast right now Monday with highs in the upper 60s. FYI, our normal high is 66 degrees, so we'll be all around that high temperature. That's your forecast. Back to you.
All right, Quaylen, thank you. Cold weather reaching all across the country except Miami. But if you think it's cold here, coming up, we're going to show you just how bad it's getting in other parts of the United States. You don't want to miss that. And it's 6:19 as we go to break. Let's go ahead and give you a live look outside at the roads this morning. Not many people out listening to those warnings to stay home and stay safe. We'll be right back.
6:22 now and new from overnight. 3 people are dead in North Carolina after a tornado left this trail of destruction in Brunswick County. That includes snapped trees and homes just ripped from their foundations. It spawned from the same winter weather system that left freezing temperatures for us here in Louisiana. At least 10 injuries have been reported, and officials say that some residents are currently trapped in their houses. That storm also knocked out power, leaving thousands of residents there in the dark.
Yeah, sending all the thoughts and prayers to those people there in Brunswick County. From North Carolina to other parts of the nation, including here in Louisiana. Look at this. We are all dealing with dangerous wintry conditions. We've got sites from Oregon, Texas, Vermont that you're looking at right now. Several states declared a state of emergency. And then in one city in Wisconsin, listen to this, they reached a record low. Minus 19 degrees. At that point, it just hurts. And then in Chicago, you've got 8 to 12 inches of snow that's expected. And then hundreds of thousands of people do not have power right now across the United States.
And speaking of power, some energy companies are implementing what's called rolling power outages in response to just the overwhelming demand for power. So Southwest Power Pool, which is a group of utilities across 14 states, including us here in Louisiana, well, that company has called for the rolling outages to reserve this energy. Some utilities say that they were starting those blackouts, while others were just urging customers to reduce power, kind of like what Energy is telling us this morning. In Western Missouri, an energy company there began 30 to 60-minute blackouts. This all comes as that state is gripped by temperatures that barely reached 0 degrees and wind chills in some areas that registered -30. Talk about painful. Meanwhile, in Dallas here, the low dropped just to 1 degree yesterday, prompting a power emergency. The nation's largest oil refinery there in Port Arthur, Motiva, had to shut down because of the weather. The company says it's not going to resume operations until it's safe. Then in Houston, nearly 5 million are without power there right now. And then across the Pacific Northwest, people there are still digging out of this weekend's powerful snowstorm.
Yeah, heavy snow, ice, lots of freezing rain hit cities like Seattle as well as Portland. Speaking of Portland, in fact, the electric there reported downed power lines and trees because of all the ice that was building up. More than 320,000 customers didn't have power across the region. They also have rain in the forecast, so now people are being warned about snow and ice falling from the rooftops as it melts. You got a lot to worry about there. That same message, though, here is also being echoed in the Northeast. Stay off the roads. In the Northeast, their crews have been laying down salt and sand for the roads, looking specifically in Vermont, where the state's transportation agency put out all of the stops for the winter storm. 260 plows trying to clear the way and clear those roads. In Pennsylvania, utility companies say they are using smart grid technologies to help find outages so that they can quickly get that power back on.
25 is the time. We're going to go from the chance of thunder sleet to thunderstorms again. That's coming in Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, another severe weather threat. Shaking up the bag a bit this week. Changes, though, coming later on in the weekend. Details on that in my forecast after the break.
And don't forget, if you're on the North Shore, you can stay up to date with all the changing weather from WDSU and your favorite North Shore Media Group radio station.
Good morning. Isn't this a beautiful weather picture? It is from Peyton from Gramercy. A beautiful sunrise over the bayou, the cypress tree with the knees. Peyton, I love it. Thanks to 1 Hour AC, you get this weather picture coloring book of the seasons of Louisiana. And I'll see you back here at 4, 5, 6, and 10.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WDSU News This Morning.
All right, now you're taking a live look outside where we are seeing some frigid temperatures across southeast Louisiana. The cold weather and the rain from yesterday causing some major issues on our roadways. Right now, state and local leaders are still saying that if you don't have to travel, just don't get out there on those roads.
Yeah, that's because of some of the icy conditions we're seeing across the state.